Hello everyone, Pallytime here. For all intents and purposes, this is just another test to see if I have fixed my console recording rig or not, but I'm going to treat it like it's just yet another episode. So hello everyone, welcome to the beginning of my Dark Souls 2 playthrough. The game was released at midnight today. I downloaded it on my PS3 at about 9 in the morning. There's a long story behind that. I don't want to talk about it. But I tried to record earlier. I played for about the first hour and a half. And my audio was out of sync because of my capture card. So I definitely prefer to record on PCs. But hopefully I fixed the issue. Now, unfortunately, I am going to be skipping the cutscenes because I do think that's where the issue occurs. So if you would like to see the starting cutscenes, which I would highly recommend, I'm sure you can find them on YouTube somewhere, and I would pause the video and go watch them. I apologize to those of you that were looking forward to seeing it right now. Alright. Now, I have completed the tutorial before. Basically, there's not a whole lot in this area. There's some dogs right here gnawing on the bones of the dead. But from what I can tell, they leave you alone as long as you don't bother them, so I'm not going to bother them. But basically, how we got here is we became not hollowed, but undead. And our life withered away to the point where we jumped in a giant hole, and we're effectively in limbo now. There are some old hags who live in here. They're going to give us a little bit more information. And I believe this is the culprit of where my desync starts to happen. So yet again, I am going to be skipping this. Once again, I apologize. It's the first... That's not my name. It's the first 3 minutes of the game. So I'm sure you're going to be able to find a cutscene for it somewhere. But we're going to be skipping it. Okay, so this is the character customization in Dark Souls 2. It's changed quite a bit, actually. You can really go to town on editing the face, but there's also advanced settings, so you can manipulate the eyes much more. You can, rather than just changing like your eye color, you can go in here and really just shape all kinds of things, like change the spacing of your eyes and stuff like that. Really, really cool. I haven't messed around with it too much. The only thing I really care about is getting a beard, and really the beards aren't very good. I'm pretty upset about the hairstyles, mainly because the Pallytime fucking ponytail's gone, and I feel like all these other hairstyles don't really do me much justice. So obviously I feel the need to go with this, but I'll somehow refrain myself, and I think I'm gonna go like this. To be totally fair, my hair has looked like this in real life, so maybe this is an accurate representation of what I would be in this game. Let's see if we can get my hair color. That's not my hair color. That's not my hair color really either. That's probably closer. We'll go with that. We're effectively making myself in Dark Souls. So he has to be really fat, is what I'm saying. That's the next step. It's possible that this is the area that the frame rate drops in. I'm not too sure. We can add tattoos onto our face and stuff. I don't really see the point of doing that. I also don't know what any of the symbols actually mean, so I'm not going to worry about it. Eye color, obviously we want to go brown to match the rest of my shit colored. Oh, that was eyebrow color, excuse me. Eye color. Boom. Alright. Now, as far as the body goes, we obviously want to be a male, because that's what I am. And let's see, we'll make him a little chunky. We'll make him a little chunky. I'm probably like that. My traps are not that big. Oh my god, look at his traps. I'm not that big. My legs are smaller. My legs are smaller and my traps are smaller. Yeah, whatever, we'll go with that. Physique, definitely not. Alright, and as far as the class I would like to play, I don't know. I was messing around with the cleric. He's pretty fun. But I think I want to see what the other classes have to offer. Let's see. Do any of them start with a bow? The bandit. The bandit starts with the bow. And looks absolutely ridiculous this time around. Let's see about... I think I'm going to play a sorcerer. We'll see how that goes. Get me in. Oh, what's my gift? We need to pick our gift. The life ring, the human effigy, healing wares, homeward bone, seed of the giants. A seed grown from a tree of giants. Inedible. I don't know what that's for. Bonfire ascetic. Toss of the bonfire to raise the strength of nearby foes. No, I'm good. And a simple petrified lump. Probably the life ring. It's tangible, at least. Finalized creation. Is this my true self? It's as close as we're gonna get. It is as close as we're gonna get. And once again, skipping the cutscenes. I do sincerely apologize. Out the back door we go. And there's a bonfire waiting for us right here. Let's take a seat. Okay, well I just watched that footage back that you just saw, and it looked like everything was in sync, so that means we are in business. Now, I'll start treating this a little bit more official. So, throughout the course of the months leading up to the release of Dark Souls 2, I made very, very sure that I did not expose myself to it at all. I made sure I kept my dick in my pants. Not really, but I tried to make sure I didn't see any spoilers pertaining to the game at all. And I know a lot of other people were like that because they were waiting for either the game to come out and for them to play it themselves or for their favorite YouTubers to play the game. So I would very, very much appreciate it if we kept the spoilers to a minimum in the comments. If I ask a question, it's fine to answer it, but don't talk about things that haven't happened yet. So, I went to the left of the Hag's building. This is one of the first kind of mini-boss enemies in the game. It's kind of a golem. When I was playing my cleric, I beat him relatively easy. I honestly think it's going to go easier with spells, because we could just kind of zone him. He's not the fastest thing in the world. Now, spells in Dark Souls 2... Whoa there, Fido! Spells in Dark Souls 2 actually have a stamina requirement. So you can't simply run away from everything and cast spells. You still have to manage your stamina bar, which I think is pretty cool. It's the same thing. Oh, I'm pinned. He's backing up, though. I don't think he can go. I don't think he can go into this area. Maybe he can. It's the same way with faith, miracles. Which is good. Actually makes you think about your decisions a lot more. Alright, I cheesed that a little bit. Good, we're starting this series off with some good old-fashioned cheese. And we do get the stone ring for taking out that enemy. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Raises max HP. This is the gift we started at the beginning of the game with. And the stone ring, additional reduction to enemy poise. Which is fascinating. That's a very fascinating item. I don't actually know how much it plays into actual gameplay. But it's interesting. Now, as I said, I have played... We picked up some gold pine resin on the body there. I have played for about the first hour and a half of the game. So hopefully I don't have any trouble going through the tutorial. I don't imagine that I will. But hey, it's always possible. Keep in mind, I'm the one playing. I'm pretty shit at games. So let's go ahead, and since my audio appeared to be working earlier, let's talk to the locals. Hello.
This is a limbo. A link between Drangleic and the outer world. Fair traveler, I know that you must have a story. Why else would you visit such a place? This lost, decayed kingdom.
Oh, you don't say. You just gonna laugh at me? They laughed at you a lot in the cutscene.
You must go on a journey without rest. Well, I suppose if you find yourself at an impasse. But if your will is yet unbroken, then you may return here. To start again. With a clean slate.
I don't really know what that means.
Now, go along.
That sounded like a man. Anyway, if there's any quality issues, it's probably because of my current setup, and hopefully it'll improve on later episodes. But I'm talking bitrate issues. If it doesn't look as crisp as you were expecting, it's probably on my end and not the game's fault. I'm honestly waiting for the PC release. That's when I'll be in my element, but let's see how much of this tutorial we can knock out. I guess as a sorcerer, I also start with a dagger, so I'll go ahead and put that in 2 hands. Now, a mechanic in Dark Souls 2 that I'm not very sure about so far, and feel free to give me your opinions on this in the comments, is the weapon durability. So, from what I've been able to deduce, weapon durability lasts... how do I word this? It lasts for the entirety of your trip between bonfires. So you can see my dagger basically has a health bar, and that health bar is going to tick down and tick down and tick down as I go out into the world and I hit stuff. So I'm not sure if like going to a blacksmith would help. I really don't know. But you can like easily break your weapons in between resting if you're not careful. I guess it also encourages you to use multiple weapons, so you don't end up in a situation like I was in, where I only used the Bam Bam stick for an entire playthrough. Or most recently on my final farewell to Dark Souls, the Gravelord sword. I used it for the entirety of the game. Now they don't fully break. Once you sit down at a bonfire again, they will come back, just to clear up any confusion that I may have implied there. Take a look at this. I got a kick out of this. Wait for it.
You, give us smooth.
It's a little...
Yes, you, give us silky.
It's the little birds, I guess, but there's 2 of them now. And they were actually done by voice actors and not someone having a stroke. Oh yeah, there's an item right there. So I'm not sure if it's because I'm playing on a controller I'm not used to. Keep in mind that I usually play on an Xbox controller, even when I'm playing on PC. But it seems like character responses is a lot quicker in Dark Souls 2. I feel like I have less control of my character because of it, but I think it's just because I'm not fully used to it yet. Also, by default, the jump button changes. Let's see if this tutorial right here... Oh, these tombstones all over the place. These are the tutorial. While dashing. Okay, that's because I changed it. So, by default... Let me see if I can find the option. By default, the jump control is set to left stick. And I hated that. I hated it. I couldn't get used to it at all. So I had to switch it back over to being the circle or the B button or whatever. Just for old time's sake. Oh, I almost died there. I also think there's an option that corrects the camera. Camera auto adjust? Maybe? Let's turn that off. Because I think that's why I run into some trouble with this jump. I fell off of it earlier. Let's try again. Very, very well. Up the ladder we go. Let's see, what else? What else do I think about this game? The death penalty. I guess I'm just giving you my first impressions while we're going through this, if you haven't caught on. The death penalty seems pretty fucking severe, though. Like, you want to make sure you do not die. What a terrible, terrible plunging attack. Because when you die, you lose a percentage of your max health. And that stays gone until you basically use the equivalent of a humanity from Dark Souls. They're called human effigies now. The item on this corpse was a red tear stone, just in case you want to do any early on invading. I actually already posted a video to my channel of my very first invasion, if you would like to see that. I don't believe there's anything further along this path. No, there's not. But yeah, it seems like you definitely want to go out of your way to make sure you do not die. It seems imperative. The life gems, I like that change. I liked the health restore mechanics in Demon Souls, and it's very reminiscent of that. The life gems are actually looted off of bodies. So it makes the cleric who has the ability to heal at least feel pretty important so far. Now, granted, my cleric has only played for about an hour and a half, as I've mentioned, but it still feels good to know I don't have to rely on a resource to heal myself. Another thing I think is cool is this interactable environment stuff. In order to get by here, you have to knock this tree down to make a bridge in order to get over to that guy. I think that's awesome. Granted, it's not the first time Dark Souls has had, you know, interactive, destructible environments, but still, it's pretty cool. If you haven't noticed, all of the areas in the tutorial kind of circle back around on each other. We've been making tiny circles around the area, uncovering a little bit more about the controls and the game mechanics as we're fighting through enemies. Fall damage in this game is severe, very severe. I did see a ring sold by a merchant that I'm going to show probably in the next video, but I did see a ring that reduces the damage of falling, and I think it's going to be a very sought-after ring. So, this part. What was that? Before I do this, let's head over here and knock this other bridge down. So I had a really hard time with this. I think playing as a caster, I know playing as a caster it's going to be easier. But there's two of these golems down here, which makes this part very, very, very tricky as a melee user. Again, as a caster, I can just kind of do this stuff. But I found two things. Number one, they will not pass this bridge. I was going to lead them back here to do a plunging attack, and it turns out that is impossible. See, they kind of reset if you cross the bridge. So I was using that to my advantage and getting in some free pot shots. If you're having trouble killing these guys, I definitely recommend you do that as well. And I'll show you the other thing I learned once I get one of them down. I feel like we have a pretty generous amount of soul arrows to begin the game with. Pretty generous amount indeed. Now, if they do grab me, I will die. Their melee attacks hit pretty hard, and they also have the ability to pick you up and basically chew on your head, which is what was happening to me. So when you're fighting them, you want to make sure that you're rolling to the side, because if you're rolling backwards, they can still grab onto you with those, with that grapple and chew on your face, which is not fun. Come on, big guy. So this is how I killed him the first time. I made him overcommit to this, and then he just kind of walked off the side. Yep, there you go. So that's one easy way to kill him. Don't need ranged attacks to do that. And how I got this guy, let's see if I can replicate the results. He's probably gonna kill me if I'm just being honest. Where you going, buddy? You wanna come back? Oh, God! Oh, did you fall down? That's cute. Alright. So the trick was to be on his back leg. You want to be right here. And he'll constantly try to do this butt attack. Ouch. Anyway, how I killed him the time I did in the playthrough that no one will ever see is just staying in that one position. It took a few tries, but staying in that one position and getting him to do the butt plunge over and over. Let's back it on up. And the mighty beast has fallen. Calling him a beast might be a little overly negative. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea at all what this is. You sit in it. I thought it was gonna be joining a covenant? Because if you remember back to Dark Souls, when you got in one of these, it was like you could get in a tombstone to join the Gravelord covenant. But you just get in this and time passes. I'm a fucking girl! What? That switches your race? Or your gender? That switches your gender! That's weird! That's weird! Alright, well, I've had 2 sex change operations now. What's up, ladies? But going in there also resets all of the enemies, except for the mini-bosses that we encountered earlier. Which is exactly the same thing that happens when you rest at a bonfire. So that's weird. Well, I'm glad I figured out what that thing did. I really couldn't figure it out. Last time I was there, what didn't help is last time I was there, I was wearing basically this setup where you can't even see the face of your character. That's weird. Now, leveling up in this game is not actually done at the bonfire. Leveling up is done very, very similar to Demon Souls. Now, even if you look at a lot of the heads-up display, it looks a lot more like Demon Souls than it does Dark Souls. They're really reaching in to the beginning of the series to get a lot of their inspiration for this game, and I really think it's a good idea. Also, you may have noticed when I was sitting down at the bonfire, the ability to travel was already unlocked, so we do not need the Lord Vessel. But this is the first view you get as you leave the tutorial. Absolutely beautiful. I was pretty taken back by this. If we head down here, there's a bonfire, and I can show you how you level up. It's done by talking to a girl, just like it was in Demon Souls. In Demon Souls, it was a blind woman. In this one, it's... I don't really know. I don't really know what she is. I don't know the backstory. Let's go ahead and sit down. We could attune extra spells if we had them. We do not. And let's say hi. She looks like a cleric.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
The Estus Flask. We only have one of them.
Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
You may level up by the power of the Emerald Herald.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid. Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away. Bearer of the curse seeks, lest...
Oh, I thought that was old dialogue.
Bearer of the
Here
curse.
we go.
Seek souls. Larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others.
Let's hope that it does not. We can go ahead and level up. I am going to increase my attunement slot to 13. That's going to give us a second attunement slot. Don't really need that at this particular moment in time, but I want to have it. It looks like our dexterity is innately higher than our strength, so it's looking like naturally the mage would want to gravitate towards dexterity weapons, if you weren't solely focusing on spells, obviously. Now, the stat distribution is interesting. Vigor is your mostly health stat. It also increases your petrify resistance, which sounds terrible, by the way. Petrify. Your endurance increases your poise, increases your stamina, and increases your HP. Vitality increases your equipment load. It increases your physical defense and a small amount of your HP. Now, what you're going to notice is as you increase everything, your HP goes up. So it's not going to be impossible to have a squishy character, but you will gain health without focusing on health in this game, which I think is interesting. Strength increases your attack with strength weapons and your physical defense. Dexterity increases your attack with dexterity weapons. Also increases your bleed damage bonus and your poison damage bonus, as well as your physical defense. Your adeptude, I don't know what ADP actually stands for. Aptitude, I have no idea. But it increases a lot of your resistances, as well as your bleed damage bonus, and it looks like if you put enough points into it, it will eventually increase your poise. Your intelligence increases your magic damage, as well as your magic defense. And your cast speed as well, actually. Oh, fascinating. Attunement also increases your cast speed. And faith increases your fire damage bonus, your lightning damage bonus, your dark damage, your bleed bonus, also your defenses to all of those stats, as well as your cast speed and your HP. Faith seems like it's going to be really, really good in Dark Souls 2, especially if you're going for elemental style weapons. But that's going to be it for me today. We're going to wrap this video up right here. Hopefully this all works out okay, and we're going to have a good looking video that I can upload on launch day. I can't even begin to tell you guys how much trouble I've been having getting my console recording set up to work, but hopefully it will be worth it. I'm going to upgrade my... I think I'm going to upgrade my vitality and my endurance. Okay. I have really, really high hopes and expectations for this series, not only as being an amazing game, but being a fun-to-watch game. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. I would really like this video to hit around 500 thumbs ups, if it's at all possible. I'm not begging for them, but it would be cool. Also, it looks like my hand is on fire right now. If you look up my sleeve, I don't know what that's about. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave us a comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back very soon.